9. Oh,
Hello and welcome everybody. Back to the dumbass class with me and apparently the boys in German this time, just to mix things up an ever so little bit. Shame they haven't done that on Thursday when we actually have a German with us. Oh well. Oh well.
Ich spreche kein Deutsch.
Bob the Bobmeister.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Nein, that is nicht gut. That is
the only one
nicht gut.
The only other one I know, the only other German word I know, or German phrase I know, will probably get you banned, so I'm not saying it.
Wo ist mein Handy? Ich habe mein Handy verloren.
Ah, right, let's knock this on the head. Hello and welcome back to the dumbass class with, yes, me and the boys without the German this time. Let's just try it from there. As we carry on our Dark Heresy campaign, where we are missing one of our players just for a little bit longer. Hopefully he will be here soon. But I could not wait any longer, as this will be the last game of Dark Heresy that we play for the next week. I wish. Next month. So, yeah, little bit sad. So what were our players doing in the last episode? Well, they had brought 15,000 thrones worth of firearms down to the Underhive to buy a child. A psychically active child, which makes it okay in the 40k universe, as they met with the leader of the Wild Wardens, one Alucard, and his men. They were quite pleased to receive the shipment of lasguns. But sadly, it took quite a long time for the group to make it down to this lovely little settlement in the Underhive. It took them about 23 hours, if memory serves me right. And after having a quick talk with Alucard and coming to a deal, they decided to basically call it a night, because their men were falling asleep, trying to keep away from the twists. A lovely twist lady of the night made her presence known, heard, and almost felt. Sadly, however, for her charms were not good enough, and she was chewed away. For your group, your guards are going to set up a camp outside the dome itself. Essentially, they're setting up in front of the Castellan robots. The Castellan robots that have tech priests inside of them. Watch the previous episodes to find out how that happened if you're interested. So they've given them a respectable distance. There's a good 50 meters or so of space in between the Castellans and your little makeshift campsite. You didn't bring any camping gear with you. I know that for a fact. Some of you have, a bedroll that came in their equipment. I can't really tell you that you didn't take it. But for your men, yeah, they're basically sleeping on the floor and trying to find other things to burn other than the smelly twist shit that they've been burning up until now. So we will rejoin as Mordecai and Liliana come back over to the group. Your men are all on the outside of the dome now, preparing the camp in the background. So if there's anything you, Darius, Ezio, or Mordecai want to go over, now would be the time.
Not that I can think of, particularly.
Not really. I mean, we're probably asking Darius for the 2 ration packs.
You're not going to ask me to cook them up for you.
Yeah, I'll
No.
give you those city ration packs.
Thank you.
kinda got rid of her. So. They're half a kilo each, apparently.
Weighty.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more worried about the troops kind of getting the gangers getting a bit, rowdy and shit. Some of them are staying in the dome. Most of them are staying outside, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it would also be. When do you think you take first watch or you take second watch to supervise this slot?
Might not be a bad idea.
I remember what I was forgetting to do.
We might, and by we I mean probably gonna ask you to go do it.
What do you want me to do?
Go talk to some of the twists and see if they can supply spare blankets or fuel, or even something as simple as a deck of cards or something along those lines. Keep morale up.
I complete Mordecai with the question if he can ask the boss if he's got some spare camping gear that we
have
could use for the night.
Do have some small
And a deck of
small
cards.
Can ask him himself. He's not gonna bite you and infect you with his twisty disease.
Yeah, but you're already there. It's all about efficiency and speed. As far as I know, you are there.
Am I though? Where is there really? Yep, I'll ask him. On the way to asking our tech priest friends whether I can take some pictures.
Thank you.
I think that's it. I'll be spending most of my time outside of the. Well, I'll probably spend most of my time outside the walls with the guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I heard that right, Mordecai is going to go into the Twist settlement to scrounge up some supplies from the mutants who have nothing. Fair enough, good move. Or that you think have nothing from your primitive, from their primitive standpoint and your sophisticated.
They must have some kind of bedding.
I can ask. There's no harm in asking.
And you also want to stop and ask the tech priests something.
Yes, I do. This is a bad idea. I should just do it without asking, but they could also team wipe us, so.
Sure.
I have my dead.
I have my inferno grenades.
It's not gonna be enough.
Slap some dead cord on and just,
Hide and hope.
So you approach the Castellans. A number of the twists have taken an interest in your party, and by the way, yes, a couple of your party are missing. Yeah, they've taken an interest. They're watching what the surface dwellers, the hires are doing. What are those weird smooth skins up to? They see you approach the Castellans and start talking. They barely register you. As you approach, you can just see there's a red little blip in their eyes. You can try talking to them.
tech
They
priests.
only-
I do know they only talk in binary. I can hope.
You can see like flashing lights, like yeah, basically red flashing lights in their eyes, and they seem to go back and forth for a moment. One seems to blink a couple of times, and the other one blinks a couple of times, and the other one blinks, and then the other one blinks. Finally, one of the two, you just hear this, and this cloud of dust just flies out from part of the Castellan's chassis.
State your business. What do you wish to converse about?
The glyphs and runes inside. I understand you are protecting this place. Are you not?
We are the guardians of this device, yes.
Would you allow me to take some images so that I may study it? I have a vested interest in the arcane arts, and this place seems to stabilize abilities.
This is a wonder of the machine god. This is archaeotech. This is within the jurisdictions of the Adeptus Mechanicus alone.
You spoke with our tech priest. Not, well, when we were last down here. She will be helping me. Well, I will be assisting her. More like in studying these. So that they may be put to use for the Omnissiah.
This device must remain secret. This device must remain unknown to all. That is why we are here, and not with our brothers and sisters within a great forge, uncovering its secrets. This device holds too much power for one to hold. That is why we stand guard. If you wish to study the device, you will die. If you wish to learn its secrets, you will die. If you wish to take recordings of the glyphs inscribed on its surface, this is another matter. They are archaeotech, yes, but they are also not archaeotech.
It is the glyphs I wish to study, not the inner workings of the machine. That is beyond my comprehension.
As it should be. We will examine all data that is removed from this place and delete anything that we deem inappropriate for non-Mechanicus to have sight on.
I would expect nothing less. Thank you. And I give them a deep bow, say for the Omnissiah, and then make it skedaddle.
So there are essentially its shoulders kind of hunch slightly, and you see gas and something just eject from the back of the Castellan. And there is just this, a very large skull ejects from the back of the Castellan. And it basically sits on the Castellan's shoulder. It's mechadendrite coiling around and plugging into the power point. And it just watches you. One green glowing eye just watches you. It looks quite old. Again, you're not a tech priest, so looking at the examples that you guys have and what you've seen, this looks far more advanced and larger than the Guardian skulls that Mentorus, the tech priest, has.
Okay. This might be a problem. Problem for another day. It's fine. I'm sure. Maybe.
So the tech priest powers down. The skull sits on its shoulder and watches you as you go to enter the settlement. The skull, it's quite a loud anti-gravitic engine that's holding it aloft, and there's a very audible like a Roomba, like really close to you, just this, and you can feel the downward pressure of the gravitic field, something that you don't really feel off of your servo skulls.
Awesome. I'm being followed by a giant servo skull.
Yes, you are. So, are you going to find Alucard or anyone who's available?
I'll try and find Alucard first, since I know he's more well-versed in, his own people.
So, first things first, I should explain something. Whilst for you guys, you have been travelling for 23 hours and you're all pretty fucking knackered, down here they're on a completely different clock. So as you walk into the community, they're all kind of awake, doing things, people are active. Give me a scrutiny. Can we do it with there it is. Yeah, do scrutiny fellowship for me. As you look through the crowds and you look through.
Yeah.
No, just Mordecai, because he's in the town.
Oh, great.
Okay, so you can't find Alucard. As you're looking around, you're just like, I don't see him there. I don't see. So you got 3 degrees of failure. So you find the bird girl, who I do have her name. I do remember I wrote her name down. Wild Wardens, second in command, Amy. So you find Amy. She's talking to. What did I roll? She's just talking to some random twist.
Do I know her name, or because I can't remember if we ever did
You would have
actually...
heard it. You would have heard it being said a couple of times, and she's one of the ones in guard uniform, so it would have been worth remembering. Your character. It's been a long time since you spoke to her, but yeah, you would have. Mordecai knows it.
Okay. So I go up to her and excuse me, do you know where Alucard is, or
Unfortunately, the commander is not here. He is patrolling. No comms, so don't know.
That's okay. Some of my men came down quite unprepared for such an expedition. Could I trouble you for some basic sleeping supplies?
She looks you up and down. Like, she's seen your men and she's seen how you're dressed and equipped. Aren't you the ones in charge? Aren't you their officers?
Yes, but we made the mistake of trusting them to sort
so it's
themselves out.
It's your fault then.
Yeah.
Shit
pretty
goes
much.
uphill, you know. Sure, we can do something. Are you, well, Alucard did say, I suppose. Fine. Come this way. I'll show you. She leads you off over to this looks like a more fortified area. There are two really big burly members of the Wild Wardens. This is out of our main square area. So sadly, no map for this part. You walk over there. There's a larger building than the ones around. Two big dudes watching. They kind of don't really raise an eye at all as Amy comes over. She gives them a salute, but they really give her this lazy, you know, just raising a hand about. Roll me Scrutiny Fellowship again.
Okay. Scrutiny Fellowship. There we go. God damn it! I'm fake
You don't
pointing
know.
that. I'm fake pointing that on principle that it's 77.
Fucking 77!
Oh no, that went so much worse.
Oh fuck.
So you don't notice as when she stops to salute, you're kind of absent-mindedly like, oh, I just want to go to sleep and look at those runes, and you walk into the back of her, not badly, but you walk into, you know, you knock her forward slightly, and you catch yourself, you don't collide into her, but she is jolted out of her salute slightly,
Shit,
turns
sorry.
round and goes over.
Right.
She takes out a set of keys and unlocks the lock on the door. Opening it up, there is just this really, really thick, mushroomy, fungusy smell that comes out from this storeroom. Really, really thick, deep. Takes you back a little bit. You're like, oh, okay, it's not a vile smell, but definitely unique. Getting a lot of those unique smells around here. But she goes in and she pulls out about a dozen or so kind of ratty looking blankets. They're not nice at all. This all we do for charity. Arms are poor down here.
I can imagine. I'm sorry. And I would like to just pass her my spare las pistol that I have. And just say, for our incompetence, I hope you can find a good use for it.
She looks a little bit like taken aback. Like, why is he giving me what? Like, she crosses her arms for a moment, looks at you, kind of pouting. Her feathers kind of move a little bit around her face, as she, like, with expression, it seems to move the feathers. And she gives you this pouting little stare, trying to judge your intentions. Yeah, she got a 12. Okay. She sees that you're, like, being honest and you don't have any bad intent. You know, you're not like, oh, well, if I give the mutant a lasgun, maybe I can get some. She realizes. She takes the lasgun from you and, oh, thank you. You not need to protect yourself down here? She straps it to her. Would she have a holster? She doesn't. She puts it in, hanging out of one of her utility packets that's empty on her chest harness.
I just point to my sword and go, I'd prefer to be up close and personal.
I like to be at range. She goes back into the stockroom, and a couple of moments later, she brings forth a couple of I suppose you could call them common quality blankets. There's about 6 there. The fiber is not Imperial standard. You're not quite sure what they're making this from. You could take some guesses. She also brings forth a couple of dried... It doesn't look like a turd like the other guy, what he's burning. But it's definitely something that's desiccated. It's a round top, and when you look at the other side, it seems to have like frills. You're pretty sure it's another type of fungus? But she gives you like a dozen of them as well. And she also provides a couple of again, a lot of stuff is made from fungus down here. She hands you like basically Japanese style pillows, but are made out of the stalk of a fungus. A really woody stalk, so it keeps your head off the ground.
Did we accidentally encounter her hidden our colony?
Well, no, they live off fungus down here, dude. There's not much that grows,
Yeah.
under all this rubble with no natural light. Fortunately, no, they don't have any orc problems on this world. They didn't get to the planet. Only an orc.
I just bow and say 1,000 thank yous for everything you've done.
Yeah, it's fair a trade for the weapon.
The weapon was for free, courtesy for putting up with our incompetence, but thank you even more.
Let me give a fortune roll for her. Oh, what, a 13? Okay.
I feel like we're covering too much somehow.
No, it's quite alright. She again gives you this very like pouty, odd look, like she's trying to judge you or like appraise you because
figure me out.
Yeah, because you're doing very weird things for 40k in general. Not every world, but for this world especially, it's very weird. For being down here, it's very, very, very peculiar. And the fact that you're a handsome, youngish man, young for Imperial standard, but, she's just like not quite sure. But she appreciates it, doesn't really say anything to you, but she walks out of the door of the shed, closes the door, relocks it. Yeah, she'd probably I show you way back.
Thank you.
So why you want kid?
You've protected him well. We can get him somewhere where he will be better protected, and where he will have the opportunities most don't.
I not like him. I want them gone. But this place change. We not. Never mind.
Why don't you like him? What, has something happened since last we were here?
No, always not like. Yes, not normal. We break rules. I not like, but Alucard lead well, so we follow. But I still not like.
Well, what we are doing, taking the child, is following rules.
You only take one, not all? Better if you take all.
The others would
Soul's
be
cleaner then.
the others would draw us too much attention higher up, we would be in danger. Better to save the one we can than the many we can't.
She nods when you say be in danger, but when you start talking about save the ones we can, she just looks over her shoulder and just take all away, lock away. They are not right. We should not hide. It's dirty out. No more. She picks up pace, or you can give me a. I closed the character sheet that I wanted, or you can give me a charm with a -10, or you can give me a scrutiny perception to see if you can if you can judge her intentions from her body language.
Oh, I'm gonna scrutiny perception her all day long. I'm gonna fail scrutiny perceptioning, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna fate point and spend my last fate point because I don't think I'm gonna do many psychic powers this episode. Oh, for fuck's sake! God damn you dice!
Corn demands blood for information.
He really does.
Holy shit! You should have cleared your rolls. You didn't clear your rolls.
I need to.
So
I'm gonna do that now.
She kind of gives a bit of a she gives a bit of a huff, like a little bit of a huffy walk as she picks up the pace, and she picks up the pace. You don't quite know what. You're a bit oblivious, to be honest, Mordecai. At this moment, you're just too tired, and there's just too much going on that. Yeah, you just take over the supplies. I should add, she is helping carry the supplies because there's quite a lot of it now. But you get back over to the campsite with sadly no other communication going on between the two of you. One of your men is he's left the perimeter a little bit. He's looking at these robots from a distance. He's still like 25 meters away. But he's like a bit fascinated with them, seeing you coming over. She kind of gives him a look and maybe shouts over to him to take this the supplies. He comes over, takes the gear. As you walk off, she gives you a look. She gives you an odd, like still trying to like judge you in a nicer way, in a way that's a very paranoid person who's been living in the Underhive for fuck knows how long tries to judge. It's a little bit odd, but anyway. You sleep well. We at midday now, so when you wake up, most will be going to sleep. But me and Alucard and some others will be around.
Thank you for everything.
You are not an Imperial officer. You're not. She doesn't know what rank you are, so she wouldn't give you a salute. She'd probably give you an Imperial Aquila across her chest and give you a little bow and turn and walk off. You'd probably notice, like, as you get to the camp and you turn around and, oh yeah, they were ready. She actually stays near the entrance.
Okay. Gonna make a note of that.
Well inside the town, but she stays near the entrance.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
So for Liliana, Darius, and Ezio, Mordecai comes over with one of your peons, with arms filled with blankets and weird mushroom things. You have enough food and rations for everyone to eat.
Alright. Excellent. What do we owe them?
Oh, it was charity. They are good people.
As soon as you say charity, I'm
I
just going to
squint
raise
my
an
eyes.
eyebrow. I'm going to raise an eyebrow, look at you. Look past you, look at the group back there and say, Mordecai, what did you do?
I spoke to them like a person.
Yeah.
The squinting intensifies.
I'm gonna look at Ezio, and did you not tell him we were going to trade a little bit of food for some blankets and shit?
Yeah, I do.
I'm just going
Ask her. To be honest, I thought we would get it because we brought so many arms as a customer service thing.
I'm just going to
Oh, customer service.
I think you've judged them too rashly.
I'm not.
I
Despite
disagree,
my-
Mordecai. I mean, technically we're better off ourselves than them because nothing against them. I don't mind them at all. It's just that they are living down here and their supplies are scarce.
And yet they are the ones who found it in their hearts to give us resources when we came down here with lacking. Both
I'm going to look past Mordecai at the bird girl. Uh-huh. Sure.
15Ks of weapon lacking.
Yeah, is the bird girl actually staring at Mordecai, or just looking over everything?
Perception check, please. The servo skull has reattached itself to the
Oh shit! I
Castellan.
didn't take pictures when I was in there. Fuck! I need to do that. I completely forgot it. We were role playing and then I just completely forgot to do it.
You will probably need to do that tomorrow because again, you guys have been awake for 23
Yeah.
hours, marching your asses
It
through
makes
the
sense that I
Underhive.
forgot
So
to do it.
it does. It does. So Liliana, you can definitely see that she, like, so for example, Darius looks over and she's like glancing around the site, you know, checking perimeters, looking back in dark corners. But Liliana can see that every time she brings her gaze over to your encampment, her eyes do fall on Mordecai, and there's an odd look, like she knocks her head to one side, you know, and then she carries on and, you know, does again perimeter stuff. But then when she comes back along again, you know, she looks at Mordecai, knocks her head to the side, just and then carries on checking the perimeter.
As soon as I see that she's no longer looking at Mordecai, I'm just going to smile. Ah, Mordecai, your dog, you made an impression, didn't you? I see this charity you're talking about. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I mean, what? What? What?
Mordecai.
I'm going to look at Darius. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Get it?
I'm just gonna stare daggers of you. Just go, I was hardly in there for long enough to do what you were implying.
Darius,
Ooh.
Quickie.
Darius is doing the
Ooh.
1,000-yard stare, thinking back to the twist with the cock in her chest.
I'm
the Emperor.
I'm just going to
Darius.
look at Mordecai and say, Mordecai, I don't need to know about your lack of performance, my friend.
No. Mordecai,
I did not sleep with one of them or any of them before you.
I'm going to
I
smile
simply
again.
talked.
I'm going to smile and say, "Oh, I sure hope so. I mean, if you sleep there, that's no fun."
I swear to the God Emperor, I told you what happened. I talked to her. I asked her for her help, and she gave it. I think
Okay,
part of it is she's glad to be rid of one of the Psychers. She seems to hate them.
I'm going to stop smiling for a bit.
So now you see why I didn't. Not that that was the only thing stopping me before you.
Oh.
Hold up. I need to move.
What? While I'm laughing, Darius is just kind of like, "What the fuck is? What? Why? What? No."
Too much on.
Yeah. No, Darius is just going to shake his head and say, "Right. Despite my demeanor to their kind, I know that their higher-ups are at least former guardsmen, and they still seem to have some of the drills and regulations. When I was saying I was offering them food and such, just for a small amount, it was a small gesture, you could say.
Don't worry, I made a gesture in kind, although
According to
not
Liliana, you
food.
definitely did.
I'm gonna start giggling.
Regardless of the gesture, as long as they get something in return, you don't get charity in this universe.
It was
if you survive on charity, you're getting the wrong thing. So
it was charity in so much as what I gave them was worth far less than what they've given us in hospitality.
Out of character, there's so many sex jokes.
I know!
So
and
many
it's really
sex jokes.
annoying.
I'm holding myself. I already made fun enough. I'm trying to keep hold my tongue.
Because Mordecai's like oblivious enough to just stumble into them. And I'm like, no! Please!
Oh, fucking hell. Alright. Darius will just kind of shake himself back. Alright. Did you get anything along the way of entertainment, like cards or anything along those lines?
Well, there was one of them did seem quite interested in you. She seemed to have a spare appendage between her breasts.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that was the kind of entertainment you would want.
Pretty sure that's the one that
No,
good edge over there.
most certainly not. And
There could be multiple of them.
But no, I didn't. I was not under the impression that that was part of what I was asking
You
for.
saw those nobles. Do you think the nobles would ever enjoy something like that?
But the nobles enjoy cards.
No, the special one that I shoot away.
Oh, the one that had. That one. Probably not.
Probably yes. I mean, I only glanced over at that group, but Jesus Christ, it was.
Yes, but he seemed very into.
Well, here's the thing. You could see stuff hitting the ceiling, so.
Yeah, but that was only
Filthy
after they
mutants.
injected him with that one thing.
No, they were injecting quite a lot of people with drugs.
I was
But
only
still,
referring to
upper
that single
nobility.
time when someone hit a thing.
Upper nobility, so, probably not interested in mutants.
Yeah.
Probably. Maybe,
Pretty much.
but probably not.
If they're Slaneshi cultists, probably. But we don't know that, so
but they're mutants themselves at that rate.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so
Alright,
I will be taking images of the glyphs tomorrow. I feel like I may have hampered my ability to do so by asking the Guardians permission, but it would have felt wrong doing it behind their backs. And if I'd done it behind their backs, they may have just killed us. So
alright. Is there anything else we need? Or we just pack in for the night?
you need to tell us why you don't like twists so much.
Cards. We need to discuss card rules.
I need to tell I don't need to tell you shit, Mordecai.
True, but I was going for a team building moment.
Yeah, well, when you're brought up on a planet that drills into your head that abhorrence to the norm are more than a few of the kids I grew up with. Well, I didn't grow up with after a while. I have a feeling that they may have psychers or something, learning from you guys a little, but we don't see many. Even going through the primer, we've never actually even had sanctioned psychers join regiments or like that.
Yeah. And a few times I saw regiments or other companies have a psyker attached. It usually ended poorly for them. They got assigned to some faraway place, never to be heard of again.
And
Or they got caught in an enemy artillery barrage. Really, it was a sign of bad luck.
I feel like I need to read this primer of yours so we can help deal with some of the prejudices it seems to put against psychers.
I'll pull up my copy of the primer now to do if you want to read it.
I prefer this. I quite like this section about orcs.
I'm just going to straight up read the Imperial Primer before I go to bed.
I'll get you a link.
I'm just gonna end this conversation like, how did we get from him getting lucky to the Imperial God Primer? Yeah, you people are weird.
Not as weird as Tyranids.
So,
Oh,
the blankets are handed out. You try to read the primer before you go to bed, Mordecai, but you get to welcome to the Imperial Guard. Because again, 23 hours of marching.
Yeah,
Mostly.
I figured that would probably be what happens.
The fungus supplies get handed out. Some of your people have nice fungus head rests and blankets and so on. Most of them don't know what the fungus is for, but the one who collected the shit before kind of is. Maybe he's a bit of a pyro. Maybe. He sets fire to one and figures out pretty quickly that they're a better source of fuel because they give off a little bit of more light, more stable light, and more stable heat for cooking off of. Whereas the petrified turds were kind of falling apart and burning from one side to the other, and an uneven heat and a horrible smell. This gives off a very musty smell, but it's not unpleasant. Most of them will be used up when you are cooking breakfast for everyone in the morning.
Sweet.
You sleep. You sleep for about 6 hours. 6-7 hours before you start getting woken up. Maybe one of you told your servo skulls to wake you up in so many hours. Maybe the God Emperor himself flicked you in the ear to wake you up. You're not sure, but for some reason it's around 6-7 hours sleep. As you get up and you look around, nothing's really changed. It's the same gloomy, dank place cavernous place that echoes, and Castellans are still stood there. The feathered-haired chick, she's not there anymore. And
Okay.
Kai awakes to find her. No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Why are there feathers in my bedroll?
In some other orifice.
Zinch, piss off.
Oh yeah, Zinch. Yeah, sure.
So I just get up and start cooking myself some toasted fungus.
Well, no. You guys have food from the club, so you're basically rocking decent food. Just dried stuff, tinned stuff that you were able to get from your establishment. So your food's fine. You're just cooking it on a fungus stove.
Okay.
Uh,
Do you want me to roll for it? Given my rolls recently?
No.
Okay. Damn it. I wanted a 99. Burn the whole
Go on
place
then.
now. I've
Go on then,
counted
roll.
fate now.
Yep, you have. Go on.
Watch him roll 100.
Son of a bitch! My cooking remains amazing! Adequate.
Where's my keyboard getting fucking janky?
With 3 degrees of success, it is a good meal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Best 100 XP I spent. To do something we then never bothered with. Because we went, oh, other shiny thing.
I mean,
After-
this comes in handy.
Yeah, it does. After I've eaten, I kind of get up and stretch and look over to Liliana and say, do you know how to work a picked capture thing? I can't remember what it's called. Is it pick recorder? Space
Capture.
camera.
I'm going to raise an eyebrow. Look at him. And I'm sure that if Jenny was here, she would tell you something super complicated. I think you just push the circular thingy on the top, and it takes pictures.
Yes, but are you any particular good at it, or?
Sure, I guess I'm amazing at it. Throws the sieve.
Do it. Go on.
Scrutiny
What's the
perception, please. Scrutiny fellowship, please.
Isn't this a? It's a.
Oh!
Opposed
Why am I
value,
wasting
yeah.
my rolls?
There we go.
Yeah, she says she's quite good at taking photos. You believe her? Yeah, she seems like the kind of person who'd be quite artistic in that manner.
She's a regular Euphrates keeler.
You can
What?
see her now taking photos of Tiffany in her lingerie. Never mind. Carry on.
No, don't do that. Don't
No,
do
we
that.
weren't allowed to see those photos.
No. Those are for private time.
When
There's no
when,
denial. The lewds exist.
they exist. So I hand her the one that takes holographic images.
Yep.
And I take the one. So you've got the best quality one, which takes holographic images. I've got the good quality one that takes better quality pictures, but they're not holographs. Holographs?
Yeah.
Holograms.
I actually do already have a good picture recorder. Okay. I'm just gonna let you say, sure. Are we
I have a
taking
video
pictures
camera.
of-
I have a video recording one.
Well, we are good. The more the merrier, then.
Those actually exist in 40K?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why did I get one of those?
because
Kind
they're
of
a
pick
different.
recorder.
They're a different variety. To be honest with you, the ones you see on Deathwing, the Terminator ones, that's what Darius's kind of captures. It's grainy, it's not the greatest of footage. To actually get video recorders of decent quality, you need to be in the army of nobility. And when I say in the army, I actually mean in the Astartes, because they still get shit stuff. So it's meant to be really rare, except from if you're an artisan. If you're a who are the guys who make artisans? If you're making like pick recordings for media purposes, you'll be in a certain bracket of civilian who gets access to it. But for most common civilians, most normal people of a hive world, they wouldn't have access to it. It's more there for, you know, taking photos of beautiful views or of today stuff.
Some guardsmen actually can get what is the equivalent of a live feed directly to like high command. It's an actual thing, but it's reserved for high-ranking command squads.
Oh, okay. So yeah, military personnel
even then,
can.
It's got like a 10-second delay.
Yeah, so they can get access to the technology. It's just recording technology in 40k is really crap and really restricted. So yeah, it's normally for photos you can definitely get, which is what most of you have. That's why Darius has got a recorder, because he went specifically for it. But again, it's
video camera, but the best I could get was normal quality.
Just another question: the pick recorders, are those basically cameras, regular
yes,
cameras,
yeah.
like we have nowadays, or are they Polaroids?
They're not Polaroids. You need a data slate or a cognite to access them. You can get cheaper ones, like for example, if you're in it'd be classed as a feudal world, but like in Victorian times when they have flash photography, and in more modern, because there are worlds that are Earth standard. Well, sure, they might have, or in other worlds that are a bit below Earth standard, they might have the old types of photographic technology, which the Mechanicus deems too primitive for them to care about.
Okay.
So I'd say, well, when you rock up with the taking a video one, I'm like, well, the more images, the merrier. I'm not sure how much they will redact, so the more information I can get on these glyphs, the better it will be for studying them.
So you make your way into the settlement. If you all want to come along, you can. If just some of you want to, that's fine. As you walk past the gates, Mordecai, the servo skull takes off and starts following you again. As you enter, you can see that most of the twists around are now kind of coming into their late evening. Some of them are just crashed out on the floor, just sleeping, reeking of rot gut. The alcohol that makes you go blind.
50% chance of that happening anyway.
But the individual that you look down on who stinks of it, he has about 20 or 30 eyes plastered all over his face. Some of them have gone milky and white. Others are still, you know, shut and look normal.
The place with the sigils that Mordecai wants to take pictures are those past the Castellan?
Yeah, so that's why the Castellan is got a giant servo skull following us.
As soon as we get to the Castellan, then I will make this kind of the call how to do.
We were camped just outside them, so we would walk past them to walk towards the town.
Yeah, you're about 50 meters away from them. So as you walk past, for all of you, you'd see there's a flashing red light that appears in one or the other's eye reticules. Again, it's literally just a little flash. Liliana, you'd probably notice when... Yeah, I'll let you notice. You don't need to roll. When you come up, it flashes. when you do the sign of the cog, there's a double flash, but then you can do a little dance in front of him. There's no other movement after that. It's just 2 flashes.
Why did I imagine an Irish jig when you said that?
Yeah, but no, I'm just gonna make the sign of the cog and bow to them before I go.
Sure.
When we get in, I don't think all of us really have to go take the photos. So I'm gonna split off to go see if I can find anyone of our gang that decided to stay the night. Because
Sure.
a few of them stayed in the town, so
You're the one with the video recorder. We need you.
I can give it to you.
Then I have 2.
Here you go.
Damn it.
I mean, let's be honest. We don't need 3 people. We still need people to watch the.
Yeah, that's fair. To make sure they don't go
Yeah.
insane. And I don't trust Ezio. Sorry, Ezio.
Yeah, I'll hand you my vid capture, and it's only a kilo, so there you go.
Scrutiny Fellowship, Darius. As you start walking through the Twist town, looking for any of your gang members.
Scrutiny Fellowship. Okay. Would this apply to, or would my let's see. I do have a talent. Oh, for fuck's sake. Talent, not. Clues from the crowd.
Yeah, that
I
would
believe
work.
it'll let me re-roll it for free. I believe.
Yes, it there might be a minus
For you?
10 to it, but I think it does give you a free reroll.
Oh yeah, good point. I will bring it up just in case.
Yeah, essentially you can use that skill. I think it's with a minus 10. I might be wrong. And then if you fail again, you can then use a fortune point. Quite handy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I'm just gonna double check it. Yes, there is a minus 10. I'll face the crowd. Clues from the crowd. I'll face the crowd too. No. Once per day, he can re-roll a test made to gather information from a group of people.
Okay, fair enough.
With no minus 10. So I'll roll again. And if it fucks up, I will use a fate point. It fucked up by 2. I'll use a fate point. God,
So
no.
I will. That is close enough for this area, because again,
Okay.
I do add pluses and minuses depending on the difficulty. Just does. I don't need to always say it. It's close enough. With the small bonus, it's at least a degree. It takes you a while of wandering around. You do see a large number of freaks and just all sorts of different mutations. But they don't seem to be particularly evil. They're just going about their day. You do stand out and you do draw attention. This, in some ways, is a negative, but this has worked out in a positive. As you are walking around and you see a group of twist ladies, each one of them sporting a very unique and individual mutation to them, or a couple. They seem to be congregating outside of their habitats, their little shacks, but their doors are firmly shut for about 3 of them. 2 of them have doors that are open, and they've kind of built themselves a little square, a little area of prostitution, perhaps. You guess by the way that they're showing legs and they're showing cleavage and so on and so forth. Yes, some of the legs are scaly, and yes, some of the cleavages are slimy, but you think, yeah, they're definitely ladies of the night, at the very least.
Even in 40k, I find the brothels. Even in 40k.
Even in the Underhive.
Technically, we found a brothel
served.
earlier, but
Technically, we own a brothel. Oh, that
Exactly.
used to be one. So, right. Okay, I'll Yeah, I'll just approach, make sure like none of them's getting into fucking trouble or anything. Like my weapon and
okay.
such is gonna be away, so it's not gonna be like I'm not straight up going to be outright aggressive, I suppose.
So they don't like come running up to you, but as they see you approaching, they kind of talk amongst themselves, and 2 of them approach, leaving 3 left kind of at the back a little talking to themselves. One of the girls looks actually quite normal. As she approaches, she doesn't look like she's, and then she smiles and you're like, ah, and it's just like fangs from a snake, just all the way. Like she must have maybe 150 fangs just as teeth. And you're just and the other girl who approaches, who appears to have just really hairy appendages and hairy face, neck. She's she's got a thick fur growing on most of her body. You don't know if there's any point in her shaving, but they both approach you, and the bear one speaks. Another one of you uppers come round to well, spend a bit of time in the real slums. Can I help you, handsome?
I'm always making sure I'm at least a pace away from them.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm here to check on my group. Make sure no one's got in trouble.
They did a deal with my workmates here. They paid them to send them off to sleep in the most unique way we could think of, or they could think of. And then to let them sleep, and once they wake up, to service them again, and then for them to go back. They paid us in advance quite well, so... Well, they paid them. The 2 girls look over at the 3, kind of giving them a... There's a bit of jealousy there. They got a decent pay from a client from down here, whereas they haven't. The one with the snake fangs comes a little bit... Like, she takes another step closer. She is actually... she's a 6, maybe, on the... no makeup, because they're down in the underhive, but she doesn't... When she shuts her mouth, she could pass as human. There's... But then she talks, and you're just like, oh no. She has this real raspy, grating voice, which perhaps is another mutation. Perhaps it's from smoking very, very bad things that should not be smoked. We can always service you.
No. And again, I take a little slight step, just no.
She closes her mouth and kind of digs her heel into the dirt, turning her heel around in it, kind of pouting, like steps back, goes a little bit shy.
While they're here for R&R, I'm not. I'll be back around when it's time to go. I'll give them a nod, and if any of them act out, shout, I suppose.
Okay, if that's what you want, and we can handle ourselves. She gives you like a little flittering wave with her hand. No tentacles on this one. Just really, really hairy. And yeah, you turn around and leave.
Yep, I'll spin on my heels, do an about turn, and just kind of walk off.
For the others, Oh, yep.
When I'm a couple steps away, I ease up on the tension and the shiver comes. Just a bit, Jeez. Our Emperor.
Emperesus.
I'll walk around and see if there's any more, and that'll be it. So swap over to the last one.
Could
Give
be
me
Jesus
a
Emperor in the sky.
scrutiny. Give me a scrutiny perception roll. If you get a
Another
natural one, something really amazing might happen, or disgusting, depends on how you see it. Nope, never mind. No Neko mutant today. It's good.
Fucking air.
You guys. Yeah, pretty. That's kind of where I was going to go with it.
Oh,
You
God.
bump into this girl. She looks up at you with these big round eyes. The hat slants off to the head, off her head. These two ears perk up. By the throne, what is this mutant? So, as Darius wanders back and around, the rest of our group go over to the dome. So as you approach, as you get out of the settlement, you approach the defensive line that was set up. You can see that a couple of them actually already have the las guns that you were given, that you gave to the Wild Wardens. Not many. There's about 8 mutants in this position. Only 2 of them actually have a las gun. But they don't take any real notice of you. Like, they don't stop you or speak to you. They seem to be just huddled around smoking weird smoke. And like 2 of them, well, to be honest with you, the 2 that have got the las guns seem to be like actually doing their job properly, whereas the others are kind of shirking. But you make your way past. They don't stop you. As you go to start recording, the servo skull flies down in front of you and stops you.
I will direct all video and capture devices.
Okay. I say, just kind of like unsure quite what they mean by direct.
Michael Boogie.
Equip your recording.
Hang on, not recording.
Equip your pick capture device.
I take it out.
Place a lens 20 centimeters from the dome surface. Get your griff in screen and capture.
Okay.
Error.
And
That was 21.
Oh no.
No.
I'm just going to look. I'm going to look at the horoscope. Tell me, friend, what is the average range for a good picture? As in 20 to 25, 15 to 30. What would be the good spot in there? You know.
You have only been given permission to capture the glyphs on the dome. Therefore, you only need to take photos of the glyphs. Thus, 20 centimeters from the glyph surface will suffice. Any more of the device that is captured could lead to members within the tech orders to speculate as to its design.
Oh, no.
This cannot happen.
So are you saying between 25 centimeters and 15 centimeters, or exactly 20?
Place your pick capture device 20 centimeters from the dome surface. Place the rune within the pick capture screen and capture.
I'm going to move the picture recorder. I'm going to move, I think, a bit too close. I'm just going to stare at him. Move
Error.
back into his
That is
device.
17. Error. That is 21.
Liliana,
We're gonna
please
go forward.
don't annoy the servo skull. Can servo
I'm not
skulls get annoyed?
I'm not annoying the servo school, my friend. I'm just doing exactly as it's asking. I'm just looking for the machine spirit for guidance. See? I'm gonna look at you, smile a little bit, look back at the servo school and keep doing the thing. Until
This
it
one
stops
is
being
incompetent and needs to be augmented so that it can complete its duties properly.
Ah, you sound like my good friend Jenny. I'm just gonna attack. I'm gonna get to about 20 and start taking in the thing. That's when it stops, pestering.
Error, 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 error. You are in the correct location. Please take your pick capture recording now.
Just do as it says, please.
So there's a lot of this back and forth but once you get into the right position, it's like, okay, cool. You spot maybe 60 runes that you think are different, but as you start like slowly taking a picture, moving on, you notice that they're actually degrading over time. And it's not so much that the runes are there are different runes, it's just they've degraded in a way that's made it look as if it should have an extra, cut down this section. There are actually, as far as you can quickly determine, 8.
8 different ones.
Yes.
Okay.
But from what you can gather, the runes are not used just in one, like an A is an A because it's always A-shaped. Whereas when you're taking recordings of it, well, that rune has been twisted. It's been turned 45 degrees. That rune's been flipped around. So whilst they use the same rune, they do move each rune around, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's the same rune, but just different shapes and different positions.
And different
shapes.
variations.
Yeah. Okay. Can I tell what they're made of at all? Or that beyond
the runes
my ability?
themselves, you don't know what the metal is that the dome's made out of, but the runes are carved into the dome surface.
Can I do a silencing test?
Sure.
Ooh, I'm really wasting my good rolls.
Jesus Christ. Well, Emperor above. Because it's a natural one, so the mutants inside know you guys are here. They have detected you. From outside, there's a lot of malice. There's a lot of down here in the Underhive, there's a lot of evil, bad things have happened here. So the warp is, this is why cultists like it down here so much. The veil is being more torn just through the sheer terror, tragedy, and horror that can dwell down here. So it's very chaotic, it's very static, it's very charged around here, but you don't sense any other psychers. You don't sense the psychers within the dome so much. It's more, there are psychers in there, you can't pick out how many. The dome itself, so how did they... The dome itself makes it's not so much, you don't see anything odd with the dome, which is very strange, but it gives you a feeling of something is wrong. The warp is being twisted here. The warp is being changed, but you don't see it. It seems to come in contact with the dome, and just the energy, the charge in the air just dissipates.
Oh wow. That's weird. I'll say that's the Mordecai.
But I will give you every so often, because there is a pulse of it's Psychana energy that shoots around and spirals the dome. When that happens, it's a very odd energy. It's not turbulent. It's not, and you've probably only ever experienced that type of energy when you were inside the dome, just this pure mellow pond. Essentially how the warp used to be before, you know, the Catan emerged and psychic races started popping up everywhere and causing all sorts of mischief. There's just that energy that seems to just shoot up it and then it disappears. It doesn't go off into the surrounding warp energy. It's just gone.
I'm gonna describe this to Mordecai, and can I roll walk? I think I have forbidden. Yeah,
Sure.
I have forbidden knowledge.
You can roll forbidden knowledge warp.
Oh my god!
What?
Why
Two
am I
natural
rolling
ones
my
in a
luck?
row.
God damn
Now
it.
I have seen two natural hundreds in a row, so I shouldn't be so surprised that this would happen. I don't think it's ever happened when I've GM'd though, or if it has, it's very, very rare.
I don't think this has ever happened to me.
Okay, so how can I bring this? So from what you were taught on the black ships, the warp is a tumultuous place. It's constantly fighting. It's a broiling pot. It's a burning flame. It's, however your tutor described it to you, it is always a battlefield. It's always this storm that is in the worst. It's always this sea that is in the worst storm imaginable. But there were some Skolam teachings, some black ship, some warp knowledge that you were told about, of a time when the warp wasn't, that there was a purity about it. But those times are long gone. You know, maybe one of your more kindly tutors told you a story that spoke about the warp before humanity, or the warp that the Emperor knew, or the warp that the Great the Great Crusades knew, which is completely different to current 40k warp. And as you see this energy shoot up, you start thinking to yourself of what that could mean. Well, from what little you know of it, it means it's more controllable. And again, you don't have a massive amount to go on. But from what the story or stories, however your character gained this knowledge, perhaps this is a way of making warp energy more controllable, more harnessable, because navigators had an easier time navigating. Psychers had an easier time of doing their probably not Psychers, Astra Telepathica could commune easier with each other, would probably be the stories. So perhaps this device is for enhancing warp power, or that's at least a side effect that it's doing. You're not sure of the technology side of it, but that's at very least how it feels. It's sucking out all the malice, all the hatred, all the emotion, all that charge from the warp energy around you and making it stable, making it pure. But you don't know where that energy's going or what it's being used for.
I'm actually not going to describe this to Mordecai just yet, because there is a servo scope literally right next to me, and I've been toying with it for a while now, so I don't want to, say something it might not like. I'm just going to touch the structure and see. How old do you think this is, Mordecai?
They're archaeotech. I'm assuming thousands, millennia, if not tens.
I'm going to look at the servo score and say, excuse me, servo score. Could you tell me how old this structure is?
That knowledge is restricted. However, archaeotech would fall in any region circa 20,000 years. But the precise age of this device is restricted.
Yeah, 20,000 years in the past, you're talking about archaeotech and things beyond that, but most stuff doesn't survive beyond that.
Yeah.
Need very few relics.
I'm gonna touch this one again. Just so you know, I wonder if I wasn't as gifted as I am with psychic abilities, I wonder if I could have been a scholar that studied these types of things. So, strange, but it's something I wish I knew more of.
Well, perhaps given time, you may learn.
Oh, let's pray to the good emperor that I can be as fortunate to know.
We can but pray.
I will go back to annoying the server school and taking pictures.
You are highly inefficient at this operation.
Yes, Master Server School, I apologize. Every time he says that, I'd look at Mordecai to my left, giggle a little bit, and go back to doing my work.
Does any of your party right now have Medicaid?
No.
I do.
Oh,
Someone does,
shit.
thank God.
Is the server school gonna zap me?
No, it's just you could roll Medicaid Perception to learn more about it. That's all.
I don't know, I don't have that. So.
I mean, are you breaking the rules?
Excuse me?
Are any of you breaking the rules with the recording? Are you taking too much of? And you're fine.
I'm just toying with the server skill, but I'm actually, doing things by the rule, by the book.
Then you're fine. Sorry, what was that, Darius?
I was just explaining, I only have a really simple knowledge in Medicaid.
It would only take a very simple knowledge in Medicaid to pick out the difference, to be honest. I mean, but no, that's fine. You essentially, your group spends about an hour and a half in total just going round, as the servo skull demands, to be precise. yeah, it takes a while with the banter and of studying and watching, and looking to make sure you haven't missed any more runes. What would you like to do afterwards?
Probably rest until, because it's like midnight for them, isn't it? Or like in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's the early hours. You're getting, you're probably getting close to, if not on midnight for them, with what you guys have done.
I probably look to the service girl, say I'm going to head, and Liliana say I'm going to head back to meditate for a few hours on these pictures and other thoughts. And I look at the service goal. Will I need to present my pitch recorder to your tech priests, or have you dictated or directed me to the point where I do not need to?
I have not observed any unauthorized scans with my auger arrays. You have followed procedure as I have instructed. You are clear to leave. May the Omnisire bless your research and studies.
May the Omnisire bless.
I'll make the sign of the cog and follow on with Mordecai.
And
These two tiny, well, they're larger for a servo skull, but essentially these two tiny arms come out with chopping discs attached, and the servo skull brings the chopping discs together so that the blades unite perfectly like a cog would, and it just slowly spins round as it gives the blessing. And they get folded away.
As I'm walking away with Mordecai, I'm just gonna nudge Mordecai a little bit and say, Mordecai, you should probably go talk to that lady Amy, I believe. You seem to have grabbed her interest, my friend. It would be good to have a friend. I'm going to give him the eyebrows.
I don't think she'll be interested in friendship when she realizes what I am.
Oh. I'm just going to smile. Oh, how far you take that friendship or not friendship, it's entirely up to you, my friend.
But she won't be awake for a few hours yet.
Oh!
Oh no. What? I'm worried now.
You're making more very.
I'm going to tap him in the shoulder and say, "You're quick, but you did destroy her legs, didn't you?" I'll stop giggling, keep moving.
Swear by the Emperor.
Also,
So
I didn't actually realize my mic was unmuted when I went, oh! I thought it was still muted. And when I went, oh, I went, oh, better. You know.
Oh,
You head back. You head back. Darius, you get back about half an hour before your comrades do. But about 15 minutes after you get back, the missing gangers turn up. So I don't know why I said it like that. The gangers turn up, the missing group of 3. They turn up looking quite pleased with themselves. One of them appears to be putting a notch in his belt, literally.
I am staring at them, and if they look at me, I'm giving them, the glare of a...
disappointment.
Not disappointment, just,
Impression. You're impressed with them?
No.
No, it's just,
He's not
I know
mad.
what you did. I know what you did. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. I suppose.
They
yeah.
shrug. One of them's like, well, every hole's a goal.
If I see these 3 dudes too, I'm just gonna look at all of them and say, "Oh, you're all going to a Medicaid when we're up top." No buts. No no's. You're going to the medics.
Free Medicaid.
Oh no,
He
you're
just
paying
walked-
out of your salary.
They're getting a salary?
They're not?
We're not getting paid.
Right, -3 gangers as they will abscond at one point.
Oh god. No, no.
You can't joke around with gangers, can you?
Do you want to know what I just rolled? Do you want to know what I just rolled
Crudely.
on a secret D100 to see? 50 and above, 3 of your fighters might leave. 50 and below, some of your skirmishers might leave, and 51 and above, and the fighters will leave. Well, what do you think I just rolled?
50.
50.
A natural fucking 1.
Oh.
Oh.
It goes 1. The roll goes 1, 1, 1.
Oh, dear lord.
3 natural 1s in the last 3 rolls.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit. Oh, by the way, 3 skirmishers have a chance of leaving at one point.
I mean, they like the movie, so...
Yeah. No, I will shake my head and just like, no, you'll get a checkup and shit, but it's just to be on the safe side.
I mean,
I'm just gonna...
if
just
they
gonna
want
look
to use the hole, I would let them use the hole.
The what? Huh? What?
I'm just going to look at that and say, but Darius, I want to make fun of them.
I mean, if they drop that tomorrow, it will be their loss.
They dropped it.
Okay, I put on their character sheet -3 if must pay for treatment. Sex with mutants. I should remember that in a month's time. What that means.
Sex with mutants.
These of them have sex with mutants and
So, Darius, as you basically look at your men as they walk back, they're basically just leaving the settlement. The rest of the group can see you just with your head looking in like hanging slightly, just nodding your head. Liliana sees the 3 men kind of fist bumping and talking about the gross mutant that they shagged last night and this morning, and she gets the feeling of what happened. Shouts over the comment. The servo skull is currently hovering above Mordecai and is basically staying with them until they get to the Castellan. So as you leave the mutant settlement, you're all in a big group now.
yeah, that's fair.
And yeah, the servo skull lands on the shoulder. Project complete, but they don't entirely trust you. So yeah, he lands on the shoulder of the Castellan. You might go back in, and if you go back in, then it's going to have to go with you in case you quickly whip out your recorder and try and... Now it knows.
So that is all of our guys? No stragglers
Yes.
or anything?
I whipped my
No,
recorder
no one
back
got
and
kidnapped,
forth. I whipped my
eaten,
recorder back
or
and
killed.
forth.
Right.
It certainly does.
Right, get everyone to form up. They did a kindness for us, so we'll do a kindness for them and actually return what we have left. Sort of blankets and shit. Yeah. I'll get
Command
all the
check,
guys.
please.
Okay.
+10, because they are your militia. Your gang.
Hey.
Everything gets returned. Except
Okay.
from stuff that got, well, burnt.
Eaten and burnt, yeah.
You see a couple of them like trying to put together the burnt mushrooms, or taking like half of the burnt mushroom, like quickly putting it out and trying to present it before you tell them, fucking clearly not that shit, you idiots. And they're like, oh, okay, well. So all the blankets get handed in, and all the fungus headrests get handed in.
Alright.
Good, good.
That's always good.
Yeah. Okay, and I think that's it then. So we should hit the road. We should be a little bit faster now that we're not carrying this big, well, heavy weight, but their pace might be a bit slow.
Are you
That
sure
is
you
everything.
have
We've got
everything?
everything. No, we don't have everything. Where's
We
the
need
kid?
to get the child before we leave. So
Go
that's
get the
why
kid.
that's kind of why I was going back for meditation, so that we go back and get the kid when it's a bit more daytime-ish, so that we can actually find out.
Oh, so right. Okay, so.
Because it's currently like really early morning.
Yeah. Right.
You see, like, this isn't long after you've gone back to your camp, and you're like, right, let's get everything packed up, get everything ready. You are like, oh, well, I was going to do some meditating. You can actually see as you look over to the camp. It's not the bird girl this time. It's Johnny, the guy who's got a tentacle for a hand. He seems to be stood there keeping watch now.
Good old
If he
Johnny.
sees you looking over, he does like put his hand up, the non-tentacled one.
Okay.
God damn it, Johnny. Mordecai likes the bird girl, not you. Shoot, go away.
She doesn't like me. Please, I'm sorry to say this. Fuck's sake.
Alright. So.
How do you know? She doesn't know you're a psycho. What was she told?
Exactly. But she will eventually know that I'm a psycho.
So are we going to camp out here for another couple of hours while we get the kid and everything?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the plan.
I'll take a couple of the guys and go back out and get go back in and actually get some more blankets and shit because we're still a bit longer than we thought.
I mean,
You can have
don't
everyone packed up. You can have everyone packed up and take the blankets back because you're not staying another night.
Yeah, it's just a
So
couple...
you can do all that in prep for leaving.
Yeah, sure, okay. So all the stuff's ready to like get handed back or already handed back and stuff. So
Yeah.
as soon as we got it, we go.
Sounds good.
well then. Mordecai.
Yeah, you do see that one of the guys is awake. One of his upper echelon is awake.
Okay. Do you think he'd be awake then? Wait. He came out on patrol with me and Ezio one other time, right?
Yeah. No, sorry, that was Alucard who went out with you and Ezio.
Yeah, Alucard. Would that have been around this time? Because if it was, we might be able to find him.
So
If he's
time
on
works
patrol.
very differently down here. You guys are synced up with normal day and night cycle for this planet, as far as you're aware. Whereas down here they're on a different time schedule. So it is literally like you've flown into another country, and they're currently like, this is midnight for them. However, Mordecai, I'll give it to you because Mordecai missed out on a little something that the bird girl said. So whilst you guys went and rested, the army guys, Alucard and his guy, we're gonna go and get ready as well. Basically, she was trying to pass off that they're gonna go and have a nap. So when you guys wake up, they would have had some sleep so they can operate. Because they're guardsmen, they're used to going to sleep and waking up whenever, changing time schedules, whatever time the battle is, calls for it. So
Okay.
So yeah, you do see that Johnny's awake. Although when you went round the town, yeah, everyone was like drunk, had finished doing what little work they had to do, was done for the day, and they were relaxing.
All right. So, yeah, then that should. Yeah, well, we'll look for Alucard and all then, because they should be awake by now.
So yeah, if you guys approach Johnny, he'll morning. afternoon, whatever. We didn't realize you were up. You should have come and let us know. Captain's ready for the transfer, shall we say? Do you want me to lead you over to him?
Yeah, please.
Cool. Follow me. He doesn't have a weapon at the ready. He does have his las gun slung over his shoulder, and he seems to have his tentacled hand in a pocket. It isn't on show, basically. He leads you over to the bar where Alucard, Amy, and Edward, the very old officer, are all sat down. Essentially, they've got the bottle of Amasec out, and they've each got a shot in front of them, or a small glass. Morning. Thanks, Johnny. Take your seat. Oh, sorry, wrong voice. Take your seat. I was thinking, why is Magnus here? That's not right. Are you all fresh and ready to go?
Yep. Guys are all rested. We're rested. Everything sorted. We returned the blankets and everything. We're just ready to go, I suppose.
Alright then, bottoms up, people. He does his shot of Amasec along with the others. Johnny kind of leans over, grabs his shot, taps it on the table, does it. Let's hope the Emperor approves of this transaction. I don't want them going mad. Edward, take a couple of extra las guns. Get the guards into shape. Johnny, I want you to cover us as we go in. Amy, you're at the door. You still got that charge? Yeah, I still got. Well, get it ready just in case. I know the tech priests won't approve, but well, they're not gonna come in here and help us. Unlikely anyway, so I'd like to be prepared.
I'm turning to Mordecai. We're expecting trouble.
It's difficult to understand how they'll respond. You're taking one of theirs. I mean, how would you feel if someone came along and said, that one's coming with us? And he points at Mordecai. I heard Mordecai up, so Amy kind of looks around and, he's here. Another sideways look.
I'm just going to look at Alec and say, wait, that's precisely what happened to me, though.
You're a guard. You should know what happens when the commissar comes walking along.
Yeah, that's when you're dealing with God. They're not. What happens when a civvy gets chosen?
Good point.
That's the way this is to be looked at.
I'm just gonna look around confused, like, but that happened to me.
Right. All right then. I guess it gives me an excuse to break the old shotgun out again. So I'll have that ready in the sling, I suppose.
So yeah, this is kind of an operation that they could die in. So you would see that they all, the 3 guardsmen, put their non-mutated hands into a circle. A very small circle, but give them a break. They're a broken regiment. And the Alucard raises his raises his hand. I'm trying to remember which regiment he was in. I believe he was in that one. Wait, hang on a minute. Because it was... No, he wasn't. So he was in the... It's the 77th now. This is the problem when you have really bad notes. I should keep better notes. I think he was in the... Goes down... I think it's the 35th.
Wait,
No, I know he's in the second. I know he's in the second regiment. I'm trying to remember if he was in the second regiment of the 31st or the 34th.
10 years ago.
'Cause-
If that helps.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was 10 years. My notes are so bad. Okay, it was the 10 years ago, so it was that regiment then. So as he puts his fist above the 3 and breaks the circle. For the 2nd and the 37th. Let's go, people. And breaks the circle.
Okay. Yeah.
So I will admit now, as a GM, I think I made a fuck up with times and dates. That regiment might change. The times and dates might be tweaked slightly. Because I know where he was meant to have come from and when that was all meant to have happened. Because it keeps getting flickered upon throughout the game. But yeah, that may get tweaked. That may have been a fuck up on my behalf of too many dates and times needing to link up. He's meant to be from the founding that came that there's no records of. Yeah. Like when you guys looked into certain people and it's like, oh, this part is redacted 80 years ago. This part is redacted 80 years ago. He's from that regiment.
Okay. Oh, the 80 years ago?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yes,
okay.
that was all meant to have happened 80 years ago.
Right, okay.
This explains a few things.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll change the... If it's what I kind of linked him to, I probably need to change that.
Yeah, he's linked to all the Inquisitorial shit that went on on the planet 80 years ago. That's why when you guys turned up, he was like, "Are you Inquisition?" and fucked up his rolls. And I think you guys got good rolls. But that's why he was immediately, because he's met a group like you, a mishmash of people from different organizations doing shit and being in places that they shouldn't be in before.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, Psychers, you're on point. You're doing the talking here. Please don't
So
make me
as you make your way, you can see that Edward stays with the guards. They're all now livened right up. A couple of extras, las guns, have also infused them with a bit more pep. Johnny takes takes Overwatch after that, with more precise shooting in a more defended location. And Amy takes up breaching position. Darius, you would notice, and you and Ezio would notice, she's got a demo pack on her.
Okay.
Alucard steps to where the opening would be. Are y'all ready?
Yep. Ready as I'll ever be.
I guess we're all ready.
Lorian's going to grin and say, "I was born ready, baby."
He shakes his head and activate the runes.
Why did you
There's
have to say that?
This tiny sliver appears on the dome surface before opening up. Cold vapor wafts out of the door as you're dazzled by the light, because this area has no real light. The brightness of modern day lighting is almost overwhelming for those of you that don't have your contacts in. Alucard himself just raises a hand up as the door opens. You're all able to step inside. For the psychers, again, you step into this mill pond of just calm and quiet. There's a little bit of tumult coming from outside through the door, but the door quickly closes and that's gone. The 5 psychers again remain here. The 2 that are mutated beyond human recognition. I believe I said last time the woman still has a human resemblance of the top half, but her legs are like fused together and in more of a mermaid-esque kind of shape now. And the other guy is just bloated and fat and hideous. The other 2 are younger. They both have mutations, but they could at least pass. Although one of them seems to be getting a chitinous carapace grow out of their skin and covering up at the moment their shoulder and working their way down. And their fingers seem to have fused together, making more of a pincher. You can guess where that mutation is going to go further down the line. And the young boy, still out of teens, maybe very early teens. He has this quite enthusiastic look on his face as he sees it's not just Alucard, it's the other people, the ones who had knowledge, the ones who taught him things.
Oh no. Do we really want to teach this kid things?
Well, too late now. You're the one who taught him last time.
I know, right?
So, this is very disturbing for you non-psychers. For you psychers, it's a little bit in the fact that they just immediately, once the door's shut, assail you with psychic messaging. Essentially, they beat you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long you roll for.
They will just keep doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. They break through the non-psychers' defenses. The psychers basically have a constant ringing going off in their head to tell them that there's someone on the other end. So they let down their defenses to answer the call. And you basically hear an internal voice of all of them at once. Welcome. It's good to have you back. And how have you been? The other 2, the monstrous ones, their faces look so disinterested, and there's almost an echo to, or like the words last longer than they should. Whereas the other 3 are quite bright-eyed and interested. However, the 2 adults, they do come closer to the child when they see that it's Mordecai and, you know, that group.
No, I can't take their baby away from them. It's good to be back. I always feel calmer here. It's nice. How are you?
We are all... The voices break. The 2 abominations, they break off. They break out of the communion. And the other 3 continue. We are well. They look at the other 2, and the other 2 seem to be putting up a really feeble psychic defense to stop the communion between everyone, basically breaking the link. But the other 3 just continue. We're doing well. We are practicing what you taught us.
That is good to hear. I hope it serves you well.
It is nice to get some alone time from time to time. The 2 adults kind of smile as, you know, time to time, and they seem to enjoy that they can cut themselves off.
I'm guessing the 2 mutated ones still look horrid in the corner.
Oh, absolutely abominable. The fish-legged one, like the mermaid-esque looking one, looks more like the skin is starting to web in places and looks kind of slimy and gross. And just the blob one is just, you know, it's a human blob. Of course it's going to be hideous and just like, yeah, not nice.
Well, some privacy is always needed, especially in such tight... human me has forgotten the word.
Confines.
Not confines. I was going to say not confines, but no. Confines, yeah.
Yeah, it is
sorry.
confines, yeah. That's alright, dude.
Yeah, especially in such tight confines, it is useful to be alone with your thoughts for a time.
Well, some of us wish to be alone more than the rest, but we are happy.
I can be technically selective with my thoughts, right? I don't have to give them everything when we're on the collect call.
No, so outside of this room, you could be selective. In this room, it is very difficult for... I will actually need you to do a psychic roll. You will actually have to manifest your powers to try and block out the message from them, but keep the message going just to Mordecai. On a failed roll, it means the message goes out to all of them. Because again, this is a new experience for you guys. There's no background sound or anything here.
I think it's the second time this happens to us, but sure. What are our silencings?
So if you roll to manifest a power, in this room, you do get a additional psi rating. Well, in this area, you actually get an additional psi rating. And you get a plus 20 to the test. You can't spark a Zinch's curse in here. It's impossible. But again, any failed rolls, you automatically blurt it out to everyone who doesn't have a psychic shield up in this room.
I'll roll telepathic ring then, because technically it's my specialty.
Yeah, no, it's just in this room. It makes it incredibly difficult to do. Whilst
I actually wait, I rolled a 97. My type actually should be 74. I forgot the whatchamacallit, the focus, and I'll just reroll that because I have 4 fate points. I'm not using it.
Sure.
I remember when I had
a 97. Come on, 100. Come on, he's had 2 ones.
Come on, doubles. No doubles.
And doubles won't affect this area. So you're able to put up your, block out everyone else in the room. Because you can't just do a telepathic link, because that's what everyone in the room is doing. So you actually need to block out everyone else to make sure that no one else overhears your psychic communication. You are successful in doing that. You put up a psychic barrier around everyone else and can direct your message to Mordecai on his own, and no one can hear.
I'm technically using that to basically select what they can, see whenever I think about a few things. Because me thinking about those 2 dudes having their private time and just fucking, it's not a mental image I want to pass to this very open community. That's not for me.
Thing. So for Darius and Ezio and Alucard, yeah, everything you think is like going out there.
Fucking twist, fucking twist, fucking twist, fucking twist.
Yeah. They know exactly. They know exactly what's, especially it's from this room. They know exactly what's going on and where the hatred is felt from. It's just they do realize this. You know, you're not the only humans who have seen them. So they are aware that most of them are monstrous. It's just they have two pleasant people here who are communing with them, and Alucard's learnt his lesson, kind of.
After he got a vicious telekinetic spanking.
Again,
As far as you know, they don't actually have any psychic powers. As far as you've seen, you haven't seen them use any, except from they've all now learnt the very basic psychic defense, putting up a psychic defense. Because a normal psyker who gets awakened doesn't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
That's what they are. So they've had no time of study of their powers, but you don't know if they can or cannot do special tricks.
They can jump through a hoop.
Or cave someone's skull in with kinetic force. You just don't know.
Alright.
The fat one definitely can't do the hoop. You're pretty sure of that.
Yeah. I mean, do it in chunks, maybe.
So, what are you doing here? Are you just visiting? Or did you want to teach us more?
I would be happy to teach you more. It was a dual purpose visit.
I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to look at the rest of the other people, then look at them and say, I'm sorry, but I do believe you might already know why we're here, don't you?
The two
You were just like
the two
really...
adults are looking more concerned than the child, and when the voices speak, they aren't broken away like the monstrosities did, but they're out of sync. They're out of emotional tune, shall we say? Because they all three of them say, "You're taking him away." But of course they're concerned, whereas "You're taking me away."
We wish to, yes, to take you somewhere where you can be trained and become better servants than even we ever could.
You feel a psychic power build up, as if someone is using a certain power. Alucard holds his head and grunts, "What the by the throne, what are you doing?" "They sold you," is what you hear from one of the adults. One of the, adults. A very distinctive voice, the one that comes from the one that's got carapace growing out their shoulder and has their fingers fused on one hand.
It was not as
He sold you
simple
to
as
them.
we did not buy you. We will not force you to come with us. The transaction was merely so we would not face a group of angry guards dedicated to your protection. But you will be safe with us. I promise it on my life. On the Emperor.
So essentially the two adults at this moment are just going through back and forth. You can't take him. Why should he go? He's safe here. This is a safe place. If you take him out there, he'll be vulnerable. We won't let you take him. There's a lot of their voices coming in. You notice from the child, psychic defenses go up. You then notice, Lysiara, a power build up from the child. Mordecai, there seems to be a message coming through, but it's not the connected communal message. It feels as if it's someone who was in the call. It feels odd.
Okay, I will open it or accept it.
So unfortunately, the child has just seen or felt this ability before and has no control over it, really. And it fails. So the whole chat, essentially, here's, I want to learn more. I want to see everything. Can I get a perception scrutiny from everyone within the room?
Fellowship scrutiny or perception scrutiny? Sorry.
Fellowship. You're looking for a reaction within a person, or within a person. Just so you know,
rerolling. Actually,
fuck you, Cord. Fuck you.
Again.
You know what? Actually, yes, I will reroll.
Don't have reroll.
So Alucard passed, so he noticed this.
I passed.
Ooh. No, actually, Ezio's got more degrees than I, so that's fine.
Yeah, I'm just considering that at least one of the psychers also needs to pass because we can understand what's happening better than just Ezio.
Yeah.
The two abominations both look startled. And Liliana and just Liliana, you would notice that their defenses were torn down. They were weak anyway. They were very weak. Like, this is levels of psychic defense that you would see in a very, a student of a few weeks, maybe. But these are fully grown adults. And yeah, very weak defenses, but you can see they're startled, like they were daydreaming or maybe communicating between themselves. We very much doubt that. It looked like they were just in silence, just sat in their own thoughts, and the kid ripped through those defenses, and they all heard. The two adults look shocked. They're like, "What? You want to leave us?" In fact, that goes out in the psychic call. He looks at them and, I just want to learn more. Can I get a charm check from anyone who thinks they are in the position to try and charm these two mutants into letting them let the child go?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna take a deep sigh. I'm also gonna try, unless Wal, do you want to take this one?
I mean,
because I'll be using my background for this.
Mechanically, I think we would both try. Not mechanically, like gameplay.
One of you can assist the other to get a +10, or you can roll them both. But if you both fail, if one of you fails and one of you succeeds, the negatives will counteract. So you're working together, both in positive and negatives, or you can give a +10.
I'll just assist you, Jim, because you're better at talky talk.
Liliana is going to take a deep sigh and look at the parents and say, "Look, hold up, I have to recheck this. I forgot what date it was. 7. I'm going to look at them and I'm going to show them a picture of my mother, basically, to the two parents and say, look, I was 7 when I last saw my parents. And I know all too well the pain you're probably going through right now, because at one point I was that child right there. The thing is, I'm happy that I was able to leave my parents and I was able to learn how to properly control this, because otherwise I would have been a danger to my parents. I know this is a peaceful location, but much like I had to back when I was too young, he needs to learn how to properly handle his powers. He needs to be safe, and I'm sure that as a parent, all you want for him is his safety and well-being. And that, as much as it pains me to say this, he can only get that by coming with us.
I will give you a +5 for the role-playing speech. There was going to be another +5, but they're not his parents. So
I mean,
I get that they're not his parents, but they're basically surrogate parents. That's why I said
so
that.
with
I mean, this
Mordecai,
also-
that's a +15. So
I was going to say, the way you went is also really good for how I can help out, because I can then show them what happens when uncontrolled psychic power goes boom.
I wish it was better. But,
That's pretty
you know,
good. That's pretty good. Corn approves-ish, maybe.
Half of them does, the other half is still kind of.
The half begging for skulls likes us, whereas the half begging for blood doesn't.
are we keeping the role?
I can't.
I'd say
I-
keep it.
I can't re-roll after I succeed, right? So I guess I have to keep it. Unless
Well,
I can
you
Oh no,
boost
sorry,
it by 5.
sorry. I had a brain fart for a moment. It's quite late on my end as well. I was like, huh, you
I don't-
failed that on a 65. But no, your target is no, that's fine. No, that's fine. As they listen to your story, you can definitely feel that they are giving in with 3 degrees of success. And it takes them a lot less time than you might have thought for them to come to terms with the fact that this dome is not the right place for a young child to grow up. So they do give in. They do back down. Takes you about 45 minutes of talking and discussing with them, but eventually they give in, and the child is yours to be taken.
Yay! We have a child slave. We have a child slave.
We just bought a child. Yay.
Sweet did.
Excellent.
And we don't have to fight the crab thing.
I just traded my first child. Marvelous.
The one thing I would say though, this is after I show them the image of. I'm not gonna overshare, and I'm gonna be selective with my transmission because there's a lot of things I don't want to show people.
Okay, sure.
Just like.
Sure, yeah, no, you can use your telepathic link for that role to say your defenses were up to certain people and keeping certain information secreted away in the deep recesses of your mind.
Yep.
So, the child agrees to come with. Alucard doesn't seem happy about his brain being invaded. He has been staring daggers at the mutant with the carapace. But he seems happy once the child has walked over to your group and they've kind of, let go. He says, basically, I'll be back to check on you later on. And we'll bring through some supplies, blah, 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 blah. The door is opened and you guys are able to exit. There's no real problems. The guards around do look a bit surprised because they thought some action was going down. You do notice that Amy was had her hand behind her with the deck pack strapped to her hip to basically, if needed, fling it in there and light it, or light it then fling it.
Brilliant.
But seeing that doesn't need to happen, did you guys enjoy your time in the Underhive? Do you want to make your way back out, or do you want to spend more time down here?
It's you trying to GTFO.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Liliana misses her bed and her, and her
I
girlfriend.
don't have to convince you. Let's just fucking go.
Okay.
grab the
So
grab the
you-
kid and run.
You gather up your things as your men have already gathered up their things, waiting at the entrance. Kind of, there's a couple of the scouts just like looking over to see, have they turned up? Are we going? We packed. We can't lay down anymore. We given in our clock. As you're leaving, Alucard would probably just mention, "I do appreciate what you've done, and I hope you look after the little one. Make sure he gets to where he needs to go. And the Emperor protect you, son. I'll make sure this place is safe. You can be sure of it." Little kid just looks up at him. Doesn't say anything. Thank you. He has a really croaky, high-pitched, squeaky voice, which I can't do. As if he hasn't really spoken with his voice for quite some time, which they haven't. But
Thank
to
you.
save... Go ahead.
I was going to say thank you, Alucard. That was my brain, not character's brain. Thank you, Alucard, for your help and your hospitality. Is Bird Girl still there?
Yeah,
Or is she-
she's still like fluttering around the area, sure.
I look over to her, kind of glance at her, and then turn back to Alucard and say, I hope what we brought was enough to help.
Oh, it was. Don't worry, we'll make sure this place is secure. Nothing will happen here for a while. Or if it does, we'll at least have we'll have some real firepower to bring on you get the feeling he was going to say mutants, but he cuts himself off. The enemy won't last long against the Imperial firepower.
Well, if I certainly hope that to be the case, and that we meet again.
He extends a hand to shake it.
I extend mine and yeah, I take his hand and shake it firmly. May the Emperor be with you.
And you. He gives you a nod as he turns around, seeing Darius and Ezio. He gives you guys more of a captain salute to a guardsman. It's not a full-on rigid, but he gives you an off-duty salute. Not saying anything, just walking back to his post, bar area.
Okay.
As do the other two.
I'm not in dress uniform or any uniform, so I'll just come to attention and give them a nod. And when they turn to walk off, I walk off. They're wearing kind of
Bird Girl.
ramshackled Imperial Guard armor.
Yeah, he is. Or his
Yeah,
uniform's
okay.
at least in as best condition as he's kept it, as he can keep it
Okay.
down here.
Since this is a little bit of military trivia, since he's the superior officer, he's the only one who actually needs to salute. The rest of them just need to come to attention. And because I'm not in military uniform, the best form of salute I can give is coming to attention, because civilians and non-uniform people are supposed to aren't supposed to give proper salutes. At least in the British Army, at least.
So he knows now that because he knew you two were guard from your posture, the way you talk, the way you act, the way you like keep a perimeter, and the talk last time. I think you at least you did, Darius, said that you were in the guard. So he now knows that you're of a lower rank than him in military standing, because you never said, you know, what or at least I don't remember you stating what rank you were. But he afterwards gives a nod.
Me just coming to attention doesn't give away my rank because I'm not in uniform. He's the highest ranking of their units, basically, so he salutes on their behalf. If any of us were in uniform and then saluting back to them, it would be whoever's highest rank, or all of us if we're the same rank.
For some reason I thought if you were of a higher rank but not in uniform, you saluted back.
It depends on how long you've... It depends really how long they've been in it. You'll see a lot of veterans and stuff still salute when they're just wearing almost dress uniform that have been out of the army for a long time.
Okay.
So it depend on if you're in operations or not?
Kinda.
So as you two...
I know, though I could be mistaken. You're not supposed to salute in active combat. For snipers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, when you're in active combat you won't be saluting, but when you're still in the field you will be saluting when you... Not on a battlefield, but when you're actually in a forward operating place, yes. So,
as the two guardsmen go to turn away and leave, Mordecai, you would notice that Bird Girl does... So she follows your group out of the base, but unlike last time where she was at ease, she didn't have a rifle in her hand. This time she's got a rifle in her hand, and she is eyeing up the kid, like, constantly. And she's staying in his blind spot as well. So you do have to, like, turn round, and yeah, she's in your blind spot as well. And you just... She looks like a veteran who is about to pop a cap in someone's ass. You know, she is really on edge. But you guys make it out. You make it back to your gang. There's no, like, psychic abomination that gets spawned from this child. The two psychers, you would notice that he's put his psychic defenses up. So he's technically drowning out the voices that assault psychers on a minute-by-minute basis throughout their lives. As you two would have put your psychic defenses up. When they sleep, if they're trained, they keep their defenses up. If they're not trained, they don't have any defenses, so they're fucked either way. Yeah,
and sometimes,
pretty much.
even if you're trained, when a demon wants to talk to you and torment you in your sleep, it will happen, because they're a demon.
It will. If a large enough psychic event happens, then the veil could be torn and made weaker. And that's why, like, psychers who enter into the warp or go into the Eye of Terror, as soon as they enter, their brains just go pop, because their psychic defenses just cannot cope with the amount of warp fuckery going on. But we're not here to talk about that. As your group reunites with your gang, you leave the Castellans behind. The servo skull that, yes, it followed you in. It lands back on the shoulder of the Castellan. The beeping red eyes from the Castellan masters, as you walk off with your child into the Underhive. Now, just to make things a little bit simpler, because a month will pass, you guys spend the next 24 hours. Well, no, it's a little bit less than that. It's like 20 hours or so, with your 2-hour break. You make it back to the surface, basically, back to where the transporters can transport you all home. And by the, I think, on the time and dates, so it is the 97th, sorry, it is the 97th by the 98th, you guys are home and back at your establishment.
Hey.
And that is where we'll end off our episode. So thank you all so much for watching. I certainly hope you've enjoyed our escapades in the Underhive and acquiring children to sell off to the black ships and all sorts of hideous things. I certainly hope you'll join us again on Thursday for the last tabletop RPG show for a month, and again in 4 weeks' time when I will be back. If you do feel the hankering for some more Dyslexic Gamer tabletop RPGs, you can always check out my YouTube channel where all of these and some worse ones are posted. I highly recommend avoiding my earlier stuff and sticking with the more modern things, but it's there to show how far I've come. So I can't think of anything else to say other than thank you all so much. Take care, everyone, and as always, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Remember to praise your 4 Chaos Gods 3 times a day.
That's what you didn't do, and now you got like 2 idiots in a fucking row.
And a 77.
Yeah.